Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Better Together podcast. I'm your host, Mike Baker. This conversation's powerful today. We're going to be speaking with Brooke Wood with the Lake City Playhouse. We're going to talk about how you can solve all of the world's problems by going to see a play or connecting and engaging with the arts. It's a fascinating conversation. Brooke has just incredible energy and a passion for our community. I know you're going to love it. So we're just going to jump right into it. Well, Brookie, thank you for being here today. I'm so excited to have this conversation about Lake City Playhouse and the great work that you guys are doing down there. Just been a big part of the community for a long time, and really this connection to just telling stories as a community and finding ways to unite around it. You have a fascinating story. So let's get into the history of Lake City Playhouse. Like, what is it? How long has it been here? Why should people listening that don't know about it, why should they care?
Yeah.
'Cause they should.
Lake City Playhouse is a community theater. We are on Garden Avenue on 14th and Garden. We have been a community theater for over 60 years. We have the theater itself has been there since 1940. It wasn't a church first, and then it became a community theater. And we have been doing theater consistently for 61 years, yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah, we're going into our 62nd season.
That is so cool.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yes.
And how did you find yourself getting into, so I mean, right now you're responsible for the whole thing.
Yeah,
But
so-
how did you find your way into this? Because it's a really cool story.
Yeah, so community theater is something that I'm very, very passionate about. And when I was a child, I was an extremely busy human. And I have ADHD and dyslexia, and school was really hard for me. And I found the arts I started with dance and ballet. And then I went from that into some sports. And then in my junior high age, I did some theater. I did a few things as a kid, but really got into it in high school when I had an amazing high school teacher who really corralled me and just said, "You're going to be amazing at this and you should try it." And so I did community theater, and then, I did high school theater, and then I did community theater at Lake City Playhouse and did some classes and things in the 90s there.
That's so cool.
So I've been there for over 30 years, which is crazy.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Especially when you're only 28.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Exactly.
Yes. Yeah.
That's awesome. As you've seen it sort of grow in the community and be this staple, what are some of your favorite moments down at the theater?
Well, I have so many, but my favorite thing to talk about is the fact that it's not just a children's theater. So we do all ages of theater. We work with adults, we work with teens, but one of my favorite stories is we had a gentleman who came in and he had done no theater in his life, but as a child really wanted to do it, and then was really good at sports, and so he was told to just do that, and then in his 60s walked into Lake City Playhouse and auditioned for Bonnie and Clyde, but he came in during an audition and was like, "What is this place?" And he has now gone on to do multiple shows and has really become just a part of our family, and it has helped him even with like retirement and the idea of like needing that a little bit more in his life. It's just given him a place to belong, and I think that no matter what your age is, we're all looking for that.
Yeah.
And community theaters are notoriously perfect for that. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We were talking a little before the show, just sort of about that creative energy that comes into putting something together. You know, I think as an audience member, you show up to a play and this will never happen the same way ever again,
Nope.
right? You have live audience, like, or live actors, there's a script, but it's going to have a different energy
Every night.
every single time you do it. And then as an actor or somebody, even the stage crew, like the energy that you're creating to build this story, there's something really powerful about that. I don't know, just that shared experience around storytelling, whatever the play is, you all go on kind of this journey together as artistic director and being in the arts. Like, tell me about that side of it. I mean, I've seen plays, I've been in plays, but I think you're gonna, I
Yeah.
don't know, talk to us
So
about that.
I really think that like the most important, like when you're building a musical or a play, it's kind of like this multi-layered thing, and families go through it like when you plan a wedding per se. Like it's that give and take of really exciting moments followed by like, well, we have to get this done. And anytime you have a shared experience with a group where you have a project and everyone has to come together to make that happen, it creates magic within it. And we get to do it 8 times a year. So from building sets, I mean, my husband this year did it for the first time. He built a mountain on our
wow.
stage for Sound of Music, and he was never a theater guy. And I love watching young ladies. Like I have 2 young ladies right now that are building sets with me, and they've never used a power tool. And we're teaching them how to do that. And I think the thing about theater, and I always go to the Josh Groban speech that he gave when he received an award, and he said, hire a theater kid, because you will never have another employee who doesn't work harder we work harder. Our eye is on the prize. So the prize is opening night. So whatever it takes to get to that, we're going to get there. And it creates this ether underneath the people and this excitement. And I think it's something that you don't find in a lot of things. You can get it on a team, but it's the same. It's copy and paste every night when you do sports. And whereas in community theater or putting on a production, I always tell my people at the beginning of a show, like before we open, look to your left, look to your right. You will never be in this room again with these people doing this ever again. You may do the show again with somebody else, but you will never be with these people doing this thing with this audience. And there's something so special about that, and so neat to watch people experience it for the first time, and also to watch people who have like done it 100 times sit next to someone who is doing it for the first time, and to have them share that moment. It's just there's nothing like it. We just did the show Alice by Heart, and my cast had anywhere from one of the people in the cast was her resume might be one of the biggest resumes I've ever seen. She walked in the room and my jaw dropped when she started to sing. Wow. I was like, oh my gosh, who are you? And she just moved here. And then we had people on our stage that had never been on the stage before, but had worked behind the stage. It's one of our young people. And so we had that juxtapose of this very professional woman and then Pony, who has done a ton of stuff for us, but she's never done anything on the stage. So to have her working simultaneously with each other was just so beautiful to watch. And we had a gentleman, Malachi Burrows, who plays music in this town. If you don't know him, go listen to him. You're in for a treat.
Amazing, yeah.
Yeah, he's pretty special. But Malachi was on our stage, and on closing night, he wrote this beautiful poem for the whole entire cast, and it was so beautiful. But the one thing that he said that struck me, and it's exactly what you get when you do theater, and he said, I did this thinking that I wanted to be an actor again, because he had done some stuff when he was younger, and that I wanted to be in a show. But what I didn't realize is that I was missing community. Yeah. And this gave me community. And it's something that I will never, ever forget. And it's not the part that I played on the stage. It's what happened behind the stage. And there's nothing like it. And it just gives all different walks of life that opportunity, especially community theater, because anybody can do it.
No, I mean, I don't know of another word, but I mean, there is this magic that just seems to emanate from these things. And when we talk about like here at Heritage Health, we're really focused on mental health and obviously physical health. There's so many things that are tied together when you're living in this online world of chaos and division and fear and hate. And then you go to the grocery store and maybe people aren't, I don't like, I've never seen anyone get in a fight at a grocery store. It's like, feels like neighbors and people, at sports events with their kids and at school. I mean, it feels normal. And then, you go into the theater side of it and it's like arts and humanity. I mean, that's the stuff that can save a community. How do you see, mental health playing in sort of the theater space as a way to somewhat cure a community? What does that look like from your lens?
Well, I think in so many ways, I think that community theater, and just theater in general, and I think it's been something for the ages, right? I mean, it goes all the way back to Shakespeare. Theater has been something that has brought people together in the sense of we all have shared experiences. It doesn't matter how you vote, right? Like you've lost a mother or a father or a grandparent, and I've lost people, and those can be shared experiences that two people can come on a stage and share with someone sitting in the audience, and we can all relate to that. That has nothing to do with what's on the news, right? That has everything to do with what's in our heart and who we are as people and why we are as people. And theater, and I believe all art, is very important in playing that part, but I also think theater is probably the most rewarding in the sense that you can watch a movie and you feel something, but the actor can't feel back.
Yeah.
Right? Like as an actor, if I'm in a movie, I don't know how you felt when you walked out, but when I'm in a play or a musical, I can feel instantly.
You can feel that
yeah,
energy.
It's palpable, right? And as humans, we are given this beautiful opportunity to share that all the time. Like, and I tell people, like, even when you're in the grocery store, go out of your way to share those experiences. And I tell the people who come into Lake City Playhouse, like, our job is to be kind. Our job is to relate to each other. Our job is not to find division within these walls. Like, if you want to go home and talk about go home and talk about it, but you can't come in past this threshold. Everyone is safe here. And so I think artists have always been really good at that. It's just who we are innately, sometimes too much, right? Like how many times have you sat in a room with a bunch of artists and been like, oh gosh, everyone's feeling so much.
There's a lot here.
Yeah.
But it's so cool to be connected with that, right? And I think sometimes artists and sports figures and they kind of get dragged into the political conversation where it's not a natural state for a lot of people. It's like when you're in these creative spaces, you're trying to like your whole heart's into like bringing people together. Now, we might have a play that has a deep message that makes the audience member think about life and choices, those experiences. I remember watching Les Mis and Bring Him Home, right? Like, so, comes on and starts singing about just bring home. I was a young kid at the time, but I remember seeing my mom over here crying when that's happening. And then as I aged, I heard that as my kids were growing up, and the song just takes on this whole other experience of kids are growing. And like, that's one of those moments, and maybe I was 10, but I remember this feeling of like angst in the voice of, I'm worried about my kid. And who can't relate to that, or, any of the stories about loss and tragedy. I mean, it paints this picture that you can feel and you connect with. And I think it can heal. And I think it'd be such a great thing, but it's so easy not to go sit in a theater, right? You can sit in Netflix and chill, right? I mean, you can spend all your time watching that. And like, I've cried in movies, right? I get it. I felt an emotional connection, but there's nothing as powerful, I think, addressing unaddressed mental health issues, like sitting in a play going, whoa, that hit me.
Or I'm not alone.
Exactly, yeah.
Right? Like someone wrote this.
Yep.
And they went through whatever I'm feeling. Or you don't have to agree with everything that's on a stage. right? Like, I don't agree with everything that I see, but it does open my eyes up to somebody else and to where they're at
Right.
within the story and within their life, because somebody wrote it. So it is somebody's lived experience or something to that extent, right? I mean, we do everything from family-friendly kids stuff, but I always try every year within our season. I always say I do one to make you grow, one to make you show, and one to make you think. And so you don't have to agree with what you're watching. I mean, we did a musical called Fun Home, and it had very like people questioned some of the, because it's an LGBTQ story, but it's not. It's actually about a family and living with choices that we all make within families.
Oh,
it's a
great
beautiful story. Yeah. And it's one of my favorite stories ever. But we had a gentleman who came and did not know what he was watching. And I love to tell this story because it was so beautiful. And he came out at intermission and he looked like he got hit by a truck because he was like, "What
is happening?"
Because it's about a family going through just the LGBTQ story in the 70s and not being accepted. And the woman who wrote the story ended up winning the Pulitzer Prize and for her story. But it's this beautiful story, and this guy, his face was just blank. And then he went back in, which I was so proud of him for going back in. Because he was like, and I was like, please go finish it. And he was like, all right. So he went back in and he came out of it in tears, and he bought tickets for his wife.
That's so cool.
And he was like, we're going to come watch this again. And I was like, really? And he's like, yeah. He's like, I don't think I ever thought of it from this side of seeing things. And sometimes I think it's so easy when it's on TV to turn it off.
Right.
But when it's in front of us, we have to physically get up. And being uncomfortable isn't bad as a human being. And I think that we've gotten really okay with being comfortable. And I think that theater makes us uncomfortable. And that's kind of the point. I mean, when Shakespeare wrote some of the things he wrote, he didn't write them because he wasn't hoping that everyone would come and think it was really cool. Like, he wrote some really uncomfortable things. And Moliere is one of the greatest playwrights of all time, and his stuff to this day is like, Tartuffe's one of the most bizarre and crazy shows I've ever been a part of.
Yeah.
And it's so risque. It was wrote thousands of years ago.
Right.
So
and people are still blushing.
Yes, yeah. You know what I mean? Like, so that's what we're supposed to do as artists, but we also want people to come back. So we have to do things that also pay the bills.
Yeah. Well, and it's just, and it's so easy, I think, in our society to just judge the other and go, live in your own lane. And, my plea, right, to everybody is like, go see a play this year. Go find something, go invest a little time in that live performance and hear a different story. And because I think it helps you have a better conversation with your neighbor that, maybe you've heard this person has a different lifestyle than you, they voted for someone, whatever, like there's a different thing, but you can almost like practice it by sitting in a theater and, having an experience and going, like the gentleman that you were describing, maybe had a different perspective walking out the door, and now you might have a different conversation with your neighbor and realize every single human on this planet is dealing with some challenge, some battle. We might disagree on a very small list of things that the world has told us we should hate each other about. But other than that, like, we're all here having this experience. And I see this like within Heritage Health and the work we're doing. I mean, it's killing us. This division is killing us. So we have to find these ways to really open our eyes and just build community and be a part of it. And I think theater, art, music, any of those things, I mean, there's a path through all of this that can start to unite people. And I think it's incredible. So yeah, well, this has been fun. I want to, let's jump in. So you have some really great programs out there. Let's talk about upcoming seasons, some of the programs you're offering.
So we closed for 4 years because we flooded. And so we are kind of starting fresh, which is amazing and awesome, but also very hard. And so our next year, our focus is education, and bringing some education into this area that is tangible for everybody, not just those who can afford it. So we have an after-school program that we do for junior high kids. It's on Mondays and Wednesdays, which we're almost done with it for this year, but it'll start again next year. It is free to the community. We just teach the elements of playwright, practicing with play, creativity in how you dress your character, who you become, why you are. And then that goes throughout the whole year. And then right now we're doing monologue study. So how to dive into a character, who you are, your backstory, things like that, which again gives you that whole like
Right.
empathy thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then, so that's our first program that we started this year, and it has been wildly successful. We're very, very proud of it. And so our next year, we're hoping we will be starting a homeschool program for people who have kids who need to do some theater and need like a theater study. So we'll have that starting, and then we have some adult programming starting. So like if you've always wanted to audition but you're scared, we'll have some monologue workshops, some really fun things like that. And then our dream is to eventually build a building next door, and that will be a place that has classes for everybody. So that's
So
that's
cool.
my dream. So my dream is this idea of like if you're teaching a music class and you're a guitar teacher, we're just going to go that route, and the kid down the street has this beautiful innate art within him that he can play the guitar, but he can't take lessons because his parents can't afford it.
Mm-hmm.
If you, as the guitar teacher, take in this child who his parents have applied for a grant, we will find a way that we will take off a percentage of like your rent to your studio that you take this child in, and the child has to sign a contract that says, I promise to practice
Right.
and blah, blah, blah. So the goal for us at Lake City Playhouse is to continue this dream of offering tangible things for everybody of all ages to be able to continue to do art and put it on our stage. The bottom line is that we do community theater, and so community theater is free. So what we do is we do a season every year, and our season this year is full of some really great shows. I'm pretty proud of this season, actually. And right now we have Once Upon a Mattress going on. So this is the end of our season. So season 61 is just wrapping up. And then we go into Mean Girls, which will be auditioning in a month. And you can go on our website and sign up for auditions there or on our Facebook page. Usually that's the better place to do it. And then our season for next year starts with Finding Neverland, which is my family-friendly / make you think.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful story of writing Peter Pan, and also a beautiful story about love and acceptance and this idea of childhood wonder and making sure that we keep it. I think it's super important, especially.
Please, can we keep
Yeah.
that?
Well, and especially in times like right now where we're
know.
all wondering.
I love the wonder.
Yeah. It's so important. And then we're doing a Christmas show, which I can't announce yet because I'm still paying for it. But it might have a Red Ryder BB gun in it. And then we're doing American Idiot, which
cool.
is my make you think.
Oh my gosh, I love it.
Yeah. So American Idiot, of course, is Green Day's album, and they turned it into a musical. He actually, when he wrote the album, wrote it as a musical, and they wouldn't let him produce it because he wasn't cool enough yet.
I know.
So, and then he
they're
went back
so
and did
cool.
it.
I love it. Yeah.
So, and it's a gorgeous story, but it's also a story of the effects of war and trauma and living in a small town, and the idea that you can always return home is kind of the bottom line to that. But it does have some very adult content, and it does have some, learning to deal with drug abuse and coming out of it, and mental health is a huge part of that show.
I mean, just listen to the album and you're like, that's such a great experience.
Yeah. It's one of my favorite albums ever. I will be directing that. It's one of my dream shows. And then we're doing You Can't Take It With You, which is a classic, and it's a play. And it actually was Jimmy Stewart's very first movie, if you know who that is. And it's just a beautiful story about, like, it's a family who they're the last house on the block that's holding out from selling to the bank. And their chaos and love all combined into this beautiful, beautiful thing. And the two patriarchs of the families, there's the bank owner whose son is now dating the daughter of the Wild family, and what happens within that, and the idea that the bank owner by the end of it finds out that having all the money is not really the answer. So
I love the chaos and love all in once. Like
yeah.
that encompasses so many
Yeah.
things.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And it is. It's really, it's one of my favorite plays that I've ever written. It's such a beautifully funny farce still to this day. It's very much like a Family Stone-esque vibe.
Yeah.
And then we're doing Bright Star next year, and it's their vehicle. It's a beautiful, and that's a story about love and loss and redeeming and the idea of believing in something and finding it. And then we're closing with Newsies. And everyone knows Newsies.
Everyone knows Newsies.
Yes,
That's
yes,
to get
yes.
everybody out. Sure.
Yes, that's the everyone knows Newsies. So this year I pick a theme every year and then I build the season around it. And the theme this year is believe in, and whether it's believe in yourself, believe in magic, believe in returning home, believe in love, believe in, these amazing things that as human beings we all hold dear, and how to allow that to paint these beautiful pictures. So
that is so
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
I mean, we're so lucky to have this as a resource in the community. And I mean, just think of the power in, again, the arts culture of a community and just what it can do. I mean, everybody needs to go. Everyone needs to be part of it.
Yeah.
Let's talk about season tickets.
Yeah. So season tickets are all 6 shows. They start at $99 for students. We try and keep things very tangible. And then they go to $120 for adults. And for seniors, it's $110. So we try really hard to keep things so it is something that people can come, because I do believe really strongly that theater should be something that everyone can see. It doesn't matter what your socioeconomic standing is. And my board is really amazing at we do within a show, try and do a pay what you can. So we always have that as a resource as well. So it's something that my board member, Jessica, she's a counselor here within the community, and it's very important to her that we keep that. So we do have that as a resource as well. But it's only for students, it's only $99. And then season tickets help us more than anything fund what we're doing for the year, because it pays our rights. And what most people don't realize is to be able to produce shows, you have to pay the rights for those shows.
It's expensive.
And they're anywhere from $2,000 is our lowest to $7,000. And that's for my little tiny house.
Yeah.
I couldn't imagine, I know Coeur d'Alene Summer Theater's rights are much more than ours because they're a professional company and their house is bigger. And so these are things that people don't understand, that we have to pay before we put anyone on the stage.
Yeah.
So season tickets help with that.
Season tickets. I mean, just think about that. You take your family to dinner, even a date night, that's $100 right there.
Yeah.
So you're going to spend that for dinner anyway. You might as well get your season tickets and have dinner and a show, and you're ready to go.
Well, and it's a recurring date.
It's great.
It's kind of like, I always say it's like getting a punch card at the gym. You have to use it. So it helps you keep you accountable as well. We can go out to dinner and we can have some time. And it's also, when people talk about theater and how it helps our communities economically, it's huge, because anytime you go to a theater, it's kind of like if you give a moose a muffin.
Right. You're going to go to dinner.
You're going to go to
get a
dinner.
drink.
You're going to need an outfit. You're going to, you know what I mean? And all that trickles down into our businesses.
Yep.
And art does that substantially. And so the idea of even going to an art show or seeing a dance performance or anything that's like that, those go into our communities. After the kids get off stage, we have parents who go straight over to the resort to do GUIs, right? When my boys were little, it was okay, they would get off stage and the first thing that they would say to me is, "So we're going to GUIs, right?" Okay. So those are things that I think that as we don't think about, that the community arts support so much. And when we lose those things and we stay home, that is not getting put into our communities.
No, it's not building community. I was fortunate. My parents had season tickets to a Playhouse in Salt Lake City growing up. And so I saw my parents, they had a thing. They tried really hard, like my wife and I do, try to get out Friday night, at least have a date, even if it's a Costco thing. But my parents would go to the plays and they would come home and talk to us about it. And we would go to plays with them. And it's just one of those really cool things. I mean, this could be our advice segment of the podcast. It's like if your marriage is struggling or you need to spice
Mm-hmm.
it up a little bit, let's make sure that we're creating those opportunities to go out on
Time.
dates and just be together and have that
Mm-hmm.
experience.
Yeah. Time, right? And I think that that's something as a theaters are talking about right now, because we do have theaters that are struggling within this community because, and it's not just here. New York's really struggling right now. But this idea that maybe we've, even as an art, we've gotten a little away from it. Like we started putting screens on our
Mm-hmm.
stages and using that to change
Mm-hmm.
sets instead of making sets. And I think community theater ties back to, we do a lot of, I mean, we're such a small stage. Everything we do, we build.
Yeah.
Everything we do, we make. And so I think that's something that when you go to those things, you start to appreciate it again, the art of it, instead of just having it happen. So
That's great.
Yeah.
Well, it takes a community to support this, so you can do
Yes.
season tickets, and then you guys have an auction
Yes.
coming up. You want to talk about that for a minute?
Yes. So we are doing our very first auction since I've been there. I don't know if there was any before me. I can't remember it happening, but so we're doing a Midsummer Night's Dream is our theme. It's an auction on July 16th. It is, all the proceeds will go to building our education program and paying for, to bring in some actual help for me. So we'll be hopefully hiring someone to take over education. We have this amazing woman named Jolena Long who's been doing just a ton of stuff voluntarily for us. And quite frankly, I couldn't do it without her. She was there.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so we hope to bring her in, but the auction will be helping to fund those things. So funding, after school programs. So we don't have to charge a lot. I mean, like, we got an amazing grant from the city of Coeur d'Alene, but I think I spent most of the grant on pizza for my after school kids. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you don't think
goes
about
quick.
it. Yeah,
Yeah.
it goes so
Yeah, it
fast,
does.
but you
Yep.
just don't even think about it. You're
Right.
like, I bought pizza 10 times.
Yep.
But I think it's important that we have these things because our students in this area need art, and I'm seeing it more and more. And so to be able to have these things, we have to have auctions. So our auction is on July 16th. You can go on our website and get tickets to it. It'll be an auction and a gala. And so, everyone can dress up and whatever they want to do. And then also we will have some performances from this past year, as well as performances of what's to come. So we're going to have a couple actors that we've had on our stage multiple times do some stuff from American Idiot, and then do some stuff from Bright Star, and do some stuff for Finding Neverland. So yeah, so we're
That's
super
so
excited.
cool.
Super excited. It'll be a really nice night, and talk about a great date night, or like if you have a company that you need to get some write-offs, give me a call. Actually, call my husband, not me, because he's in charge of it. Yeah, so it's just a great way to help us, and also to help the community so we can bring more in, because I am one human.
You are one amazing human.
and I need some. I
mean,
need more humans.
we had an episode recently where we had the Idaho Community Foundation on, and we were talking about the nonprofit center and how they, provide support, but just the challenge of running a small nonprofit. I mean, this is a big deal. There's a lot of work that goes into it. Small nonprofits have the same amount of work to do as large nonprofits, and you have to try to keep things going. We worry about budgets and buildings and people and all of that stuff. It's heavy, but it's nice that there's this collective group in our community of nonprofits that we're there to support each other, and we want to kind of build things out.
This community is very I mean, I feel so blessed to have just been a part of this community growing up, and my family's been here forever, but I have moved away and come home, as most of us do in this community. I think there's a lot of us who left and went, maybe not, and then came home, and there's a reason for it. We're very lucky to have the support that we have within the community, and our the nonprofits in this area work so hard. And what I like about it, I mean, perfect example. Our actual auction was supposed to be on a different day. So it was supposed to be Canopy Village's night. And I was like, and we're out. Like they deserve, like they're amazing. What they do, there's nothing like them in this community, and we need them. And we need other nonprofits like Heritage Health. We need all of these things to make a community work. And we're just a small part of what that is. But nonprofit work is hard work. And I think we don't always talk about that.
Yeah.
Like everyone's all, we try and be like sunshine and rainbows because we want people to give to know that, I mean, we're not going anywhere, but it doesn't make it less hard.
We're always going to solve the problem.
Yeah.
It's helpful when other people come alongside us.
Yes. Duct tape can only go so far.
It's true. It's great.
Yeah.
Well, this has been so much fun talking with you. Is there anything you want to share with the community or anything else you want to hit before we wrap it up?
I think the biggest thing is get out and support art.
Yeah.
I think, unfortunately, we're going to see some more closures in this area if we don't, of very important art galleries and theaters and performing venues and things like that. So my biggest thing that I would encourage people to do is to take a moment and look through all the theater in this town. And it's not just me. Like, we have Lake City Playhouse. We have Coeur d'Alene Summer Theater. We have Civic in Spokane. They do wonderful things. We have Stage Left, does brilliant, edgy, make you think outside the box stuff. There is theater everywhere. There's Aspire. I mean, there's places to go. You just got to go.
Yep.
And I think that that's what I would encourage all of you to do, and encourage you to take your children.
Yeah.
Watch the wonder in their eyes as they watch people on stage. Because I think that we sometimes as adults forget how cool it is. Because for me, I've seen it, right? But watching, even like I have grandchildren that are now going and doing it, and my son just had twins, and I'll hold them, and while someone's singing on the stage, them dancing and the things that they're doing just makes me like gasp and so excited because I forget about it.
Right.
What a blessed life to have it around me so much that I'm like, someone's singing again. But I encourage people to bring your kids. I mean, there's so much to be seen, and get uncomfortable. I think that's the coolest thing about art, is getting uncomfortable and then remembering that, like, you don't have to take that with you, but it's okay to hear it.
It is okay to hear it. I think we solved some of the world's most hardest problems in this podcast, because pretty much turn off the TV.
Yes.
Engage as a community.
Yes.
Take your spouse on a date.
Yes.
And you're going to build a community. You're going to have great food. So, I mean, basically, go see a play and you're going to save the world.
Yeah.
Is that really what we did today?
Yes. I think so.
It was that easy.
Yeah. Go see some art. Do some art.
Go see some art.
Yeah.
Go engage in the community and
be a part of why you're here.
Yeah.
Especially for people who just moved here.
Absolutely. Come check it out and be part of community.
Yep.
Well, this is so amazing.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me.
All of the energy that you put in to the work that you do. I've heard you speak and seen the work that you do. I am inspired by leaders like you in our community that just show up and work hard, and you have a passion to make the world better for other people. And I appreciate that. Thank you for sharing that with us here. I'm excited to be there for some plays this year. And just to continue to see the work that you're doing. We need to make our community stronger. And who knew it was just as easy as going out and engage.
Thanks for having me.
That's
it means
great.
a lot.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much.
All right. Well, thank you for being here this week. That was such a fascinating conversation. Get out there, go see some plays, engage in the community. Can't wait to get you to the episode next week. We always have fascinating conversations, so stay tuned.